Hello everyone, welcome to the BISP Solutions. My name is Anjali and today we will continue with the profitability and cost management cloud service. So let's get started. So basically in the previous session we have done the allocation rules. Now we will see some custom calculation rules. So you have an idea like what kind of rules we can prepare here for the sake of allocations and adjustments. So before starting I would like to tell something about these rules. So we have already discussed about the allocation rules. Now let's discuss about the custom calculation rules. So we basically here modify or create data in place. We calculate the driver data, then create what if changes, create budget or forecast values. So for the sake of this, sometimes we need to prepare some custom calculation rules. Like suppose if I need to make some adjustments here, maybe in the salary expenses, in the overhead expenses, utilities, so many expenses we have. So if I need to make any adjustment in between, so I can just prepare the custom calculation rules in the PCMCS application, and then on the basis of that we can later on prepare the budget or forecast values. So let me show you the rules which we can prepare there, and one more thing, we can see the problem statement first. So I'm just going to start with a very basic rule so that you have a clear idea, but later on you can just use your waterfall analysis model. There one by one rule will be can be applied. Okay, so here you can see that these are the POVs. Regular salary is one of the account member we have. Then net balance, input, net change, adjustment in, adjustment out, allocation, and these are the members of the balance dimension. Then corporate is one entity, no customer, no driver, no rule, no activity. These are the POVs. This R0023 is my custom calculation rule number. When I just select that, so I can get the result. Like here you can see my problem is I just need to divide this 50,000. This is my regular salary, and in between there is a requirement of making an adjustment of 15%. Like whatever the regular salary, 15% of that, that is the 7500, should come in the adjustment column, so that accordingly they can prepare the reports. So right now the concern is very simple. This 50,000 should be adjusted, and we need to show this 50,000 7500 15% of 50,000 under the adjustment in. Okay, so let me show you how you can write the rule there in the application. So I have already logged in the PCMCS application with the credentials I have. Again, for writing the rule, I am moving towards the administer cluster. Under that, rules card is important, and there I'll just write my custom rule. So again, you can just select your global context. Like suppose you're working on the 2016 year January period, scenario is actual. When you just click here, you will find all the predefined rule sets and rules. Okay, for now there is no rule set is defined for the custom calculation. I mean there is, but we need to prepare a separate rule for the sake of understanding. So you need to prepare the rule set first. So for create the rule set, just click on this green plus icon and just write your rule name, custom rule adjustment. I'm just giving it a name, custom rule adjustment. Here I can just write the description as well. Need to make this basic adjustment of 15% in the regular salary. Okay, so there is sequence number we need to define. Like till now I'm having 7 rules are already here, so I'm just making it a 8, and just click on the enable. When you click on enable, so this rule set will be up, available in the calculation bar. Otherwise, if you don't enable, so you're not getting this particular rule. So enable is important. Then rule set calculation options we have, that is the serial execution, parallel execution. You want to run it this in a serial execution or in a parallel execution or interactive execution. Then what are the number of interactions and so on. So you can just write things in this way. Use global context. Now this option will indicate if you need to use this global context, you need to define everything here first, the global context. So you can just enable every time you prepare any kind of rule set or rule, you can just use the global context. Otherwise you can just select your rule context separately. Okay, so this is simple rule set definition, because I haven't enabled this global context, so I will just define everything here. Okay, so how I can define, again, like in the allocation rules, I have just select the dimension and select one member, which is the requirement basically. So let me just look at the number. Okay, there is areas are written, not member names, so we can just check out separately. So under the net income, there are the income from operations. Then under the operating expenses, the personal facilities and allocations. Okay, now for the sake of testing, you can just use another browser as well. Three zero two three five eight is my instance. Yes. And from here I'll just check out the member names, on which member I want to prepare the custom calculation rule, so that I can check from here. So under the dimension management, I want to look for the regular salary. So again, click on the account dimension, and here under the net income, go to the income from operations, then operating expenses. Some personal expenses have been defined here. So yeah, this is the regular salary. You can see the default name or English name of this member. So the member name is PER2100. So that I'll select from here, because I want to see the calculations in this account only. So this I have selected. Now activity, I will select the no activity for now, because I don't want to prepare this rule for the separate activity. So for the sake of testing, I'm selecting it no activity. If you want, you can always select your personal choice. Then here no customer I would like to take. Then driver, so click on the driver, no driver. Then entity, so if you see the problem statement again, so there is a entity which I want to use, that is a corporate entity. So that I'll select from here. So because I remember the name of corporate entity member name, that's why I'm directly selecting it. Otherwise you can check it out on the different browser, or you can write it manually. For every time you want to select, at least you know the member name and the alias together. Okay, product is also, I'm selecting the no product for now. I'm not specified separate product. So everything is done. Then you can just click on save. So in this way you have just prepare your rule set. Now in this particular rule set, I'm just going to create one rule. Now whenever you click on the rules, there are two options. Either you can go with the allocation, or you can go with the custom calculations. Okay, So if I just select here the custom calculation, because in the previous session we have seen the allocation rule, now I'll just want to prepare this custom rule. So just give it a name, a regular salary adjustment. Okay, and here you need to write the description as well. Yeah, this is not mandatory. If you want, you can write, otherwise you can escape the description. The main thing is you need to provide the rule name, or you need to make it enabled simultaneously. Give it a sequence number and then move ahead. So let's write it. Description as well. Adjustment rule in regular salary account. Okay, so that whoever will be visit in this rule set definition, so he or she can identify the about the rule. That is the reason I'm writing this description, otherwise you can escape it. Just make it enabled, and the sequence number, sometimes it auto picked by the sequence, but if you want you can always write your sequence, because there are no rules under the custom rule adjustment. That is why I can just mention one as well. Okay, because here is no separate rule for now. Now just click on the target. So here you can see the result dimension is balanced. It is auto picked by the application. We don't need to select it again and again. So my rule name is regular salary adjustment. My rule set name is custom rule adjustment, and here I'll just select the members from in this way. Okay, so right now here rule set context has been enabled. That is why I'm unable to select the target, but I want to select it, so I just disable it from description, and here we'll be selecting one member. So whatever my target, I need to select that first. Then activity. So sometimes you don't want to select the same thing again and again, so in that case you can just use the rule context, otherwise you can select it separately. One more thing, I would like to check whether I have selected any particular driver. No, there is no driver only. So yes, I'm again selecting the no driver from here. Then entity is the corporate entity, so I will select that also. Then product, no product. Then here we need to write the formula. So like I already told you what kind of formula we need to write here, in the form of tuples and sets, right? Like in the SBase we used to write in the MDX script. Here also we need to write the formula in the same context. So let's try to write it. I have already written this formula, so I'm just copying it. You can always refer the docs as well, because there are proper way of writing the formula. See what I'm doing here, I'm just making an adjustment in. So this is the adjustment in column, this one. Okay, this is equal to input. Input column is this. So whatever the input we define here, simply it will multiply by 15%. So 50,000 multiplied by 15% will give me the result under the adjustment in. This I am writing in the custom rule adjustment, and the account number I already defined. So let's try to validate this rule. So the rule and formula is valid. If it is invalid, there would be errors occur. So we can test it and then click on save. Also, you can always check the rule context if you want. So if you have not defined anything here, so you can just write your rule context separately. So we have already selected, custom rule adjustment is done. Now click on save, and then how we can run this rule? Go back to the navigator and click on the manage option. Under the calculation, you need to select your rule. So again I am running the single rule, so select your rule set name. So this is my rule set name, that is custom rule adjustment, and my rule name will be regular salary adjustment. Okay, once it is done, click on run now. Now again, if you are running multiple rules at a time, you can always select specify the rule set range, like first rule set sequence number to the last rule set sequence number, or you can always specify when to stop, when to start. Okay, right now we are running just one rule, so it is enough. Now again go back to the navigator, and here under the job library, okay, so now you can clearly see this rule, the status is coming as success with warnings. So I need to check what kind of warnings are here. Click for warnings. Number of updated cell count is 0 for rule regular salary adjustment. Run the rule data validation report to check the source and driver data. So we can just save these rules, and we need to test it basically. Okay, okay, we will test it with the help of a smart view. Click on smart view, go to the panel. You must have created one user before using the smart view. Sorry. Okay, from here I am going to select the account and everything, the correct POV. So in this case my account number is personal expenses regular salary. Balance, let's make it pivot for now. No activity, because we have selected no activity while writing the rule. Then no driver, then entity. So corporate entity we have selected, period January, then product, no product we have selected. Okay, so here there should be a rule number. For now I am making it no rule, and then later on we'll check the rule number and make it correct. Scenario is actual. If you want, you can use this member selector, otherwise you can directly manually write. If you know the correct spell and member name, you can always write, that would be preferable. No customer. Okay, and in the balance I would like to select the members what I want to see basically. net balance, input, net change, everything we would like to see, and in which column we need to see the result in the adjustment in. Okay, if our rule will work, only then we can see the result. Or I can just make it pivot once again. Okay, this rule again, make it pivot and then pivot it once again. So here we can just select the rule number. Now let me just check the rule number. So for check the rule number, go to the rules again, and here under the custom rule adjustment, this is a regular salary adjustment. Rule number is R0022. And here let's give it input value, submit data, and refresh it. So because the rule has been coming it as a success with warning, so we need to check what are the warnings and how we can make it correct, because the last time when I prepared this rule I get the result, so that I need to check what is the reason behind this. See, the last time I get the result, so let's check it once again. Let's give a sequence number of 9, because after 8 then I'm just checking everything once again is correct or not. Account is PER2100. This is for the regular salary. If you want to check, you can change your alias from here as well. See, PER2100, this is correct. Then activity is no activity, customer is no customer, driver is no driver, entity is CC1001, this is corporate entity. CC1001. Product is no product. So this is correct, and formula gets also validated. If the formula is not correct, I mean the way how we can write the custom rules here, so the rule and formula is this is invalid. Right now this information is coming as the rule and formula is valid, so I think it is correct. And rule context, click on save. So this is my rule set. I have not enabled this global context, because I have written all the context, in what context I want to prepare this particular formula. So everything I already defined here, that is why I'm not use a global context here. And when I just click on the custom rule adjustment, so this rule under the rule set regular salary adjustment is already there and it is enabled, right? So click on save once again. let me check the error. Number of updated cell count is 0 for rule regular salary adjustment. Run the rule data validation report to check the source and driver data. So the rule number is correct. I mean R0022, and adjustment in, this is first column, and input comma rule into 0.15. Formula is also correct, I guess. Let me run it once again. Okay, this job library you can get from under the applications. Okay, let me just run it once again from the calculation. Click on run now. So the ledger calculation job has been submitted. Now go to the jobs and you can check the status. See, now it is success. Okay, so because this is success without any warning, so it should be it should get the result. See, now we are getting the result. This is absolutely correct. We have applied the formula in the input column, so it is just like that: input multiplied by 15%, and whatever the value of that 15% should come under the adjustment in. Very basic rule I have started with, so that you can have an idea what kind of custom rules we can write here. Now later on, if you want to write the bunch of rules together and you want to run in the form of waterfall model, so you can run that also. I have shown you the sequence, like you need to define the sequence number. So our rule gets validated, and let's change some figures and see the result. 4,50,000. Submit your data and click on refresh. So every time you change the value, I think you need to run the rule once again. Right now the status is running. Keep refreshing it until it gets the success status, and now refresh. See, the result gets changed from 7,500 to 67,500. How it comes? It is 4,50,000 multiplied by 15%, so it should be 67,500. So result is correct. So that means the rule is working. Now suppose you want to run the bunch of rule. So how you can do that? Go back to the manage cluster, under that click on the calculation, and if you have already written all the rules, we have written only one rule at a time, right? So Suppose I want to specify the range, so I need to write here the rule set sequence number, last rule set sequence number. So it will run like a waterfall model, like one by one which rule should be run, it will be run accordingly. So we need to specify the rule set sequence number, or you can also click on stop after rule. So you can just specify the last rule where you want to stop this rule. So I hope it is clear, and this is enough for the day as well. If you want to prepare some more rules here, like for the not for the salary only, for the rent, you can go with the utility or other operating expenses. You need to prepare the story first in Excel, and based on that you can prepare your rules. Your way, like how you write the rule, should be correct. Okay, if you are writing it in a sets and tuples form, so that should be correct. And then come back here in the smart view and check the result. That is the requirement. Like here I have just prepared the allocation rule, and that we have already seen in the previous sessions. This is the utility. So I have shown you what kind of result I want here. First is my input is 3000, and I don't want to interrupt this particular input. I just want to make some adjustment of 10%. This is 300 we get. So first rule is adjustment rule, calculation, I mean the custom rule, and then simultaneously I want to make some allocation rule. So allocation evenly I want to distribute in these three departments, so that is correctly I get. So in the next sessions I would like to show you the multiple rules to be run together. If you want to run custom and allocation, both rules to run together, we need to prepare the stories regarding that. So I think this is enough for the day. And still, if you have any doubts and queries, you can always feel free to write us over the www.bispsolutions.com. So here I am closing this session. Thank you for attending. Bye.